So the first question is about my expectations from the role of consulting executive. Well, the role of consulting executive plays a very important factor as far as any talent development and OD intervention is concerned. My expectation from this role when it comes to the implementation or the execution of any talent development or OD initiative is concerned is for them to be agile, understand what is required for the person who is front-ending the project, and ensure that all necessary resources are made available so that the intervention can go in a seamless manner. For example, when it comes to an assessment development center, it is high intensity, and in this situation, I expect the consulting executive to know proactively what the consultant would be needing or the assessors would be needing, and ensure materials like your evaluation sheets or a simple thing like a pen or a paper that the assessors use to make observations are made available without them asking for it. When it comes to other interventions like 360-degree feedback, I expect the consulting executive to ensure that whatever data is received is moved to the necessary templates without any error. And as far as other interventions like succession planning or organizing advanced learning programs or visioning workshops are concerned, my expectation is to ensure that whatever are the activities that are assigned to them is carried out by ensuring quality and adherence to whatever is required for a successful implementation of the program. So the next question is about what are the conditions or situations in which the consulting executives reach out to me. Now, consulting executives reach out to me for a variety of reasons, and I am going to bifurcate it into two. One is when we are at the client location and we are in the process of implementing an talent development intervention. For example, let's take the case of Assessment Development Center. Now, here they reach out to me when they need clarity on what is to be done, because in certain cases we may have to take decisions at that point in time, and for getting a clarity they reach out to me. They also reach out to me to check with me if something that they want to do to make it better is okay or not. So then I have to tell them if it is okay and then give them a decision. Now this happens when we are at any client location for any kind of interventions as well. When it comes to instances like 360-degree feedback, then they reach out to me in case there are any discrepancies in data or errors they have found in the template, for which corrections have to be made, and for validating with me if whatever they want to do is okay or not. Now there are also situations when they need certain guidance. It can be in their personal or professional lives as well. So that is also a situation under which they reach out to me, and I share with them required clarity. So what are the qualities that I look out for in a consulting executive is the next question that I have. So in a consulting executive, the first thing that is very important to me is attention to details. Now, why is this very important? Because as a consulting executive, he or she forms the backbone of any intervention that we are carrying out. So when I say backbone, what I mean to say is that this position gets lots of data, of course through the assessors, and these data points have to be tracked. Before tracking, it has to be recorded and tracked without any error. The attention to detail is also required. For example, in the case of rationalization that we do typically after an assessment center, here the consulting executive has to ensure that the template that we are using to record the rationalization process or the data for the rationalization process is tamper proof. That is, there are no issues or errors as far as links are concerned. Ensure that each link, the linking between cells, is carried out appropriately so that whatever data is there is shown to all the assessors, and then the assessors can take a decision based on the data that is demonstrated. Now, in the event that this linking between the cells is not done properly, then whatever the decision or whatever the assessors are observing will not be correct, and it is not a good outcome, which also means that time is lost. Why? Because then the consulting executive has to go back, see where is the issue, change the formula or rectify the linkage issue. So attention to detail is very important. It's not just for assessment center. Let's take the case of a 360-degree feedback intervention as well. Here, when it is about transferring data that has been, of course, provided by the respondents and the participants, the consulting executive has to ensure that it is put in the report template in the right manner. That is, whatever is being recorded online has to come onto the report template as well without any error, which also calls for attention to detail. Now, this is one aspect of 360-degree feedback. The other aspect is, again, formula that is being used. Ensure that it is without any issue. So, what after attention to detail? Interpersonal skills. Now, remember that you are working in a team consisting of people who have got more experience. They could also be senior to the consulting executive in terms of the age as well. So when it comes to interpersonal skills, a consulting executive has to be aware about this particular scenario. There could be intense situations where the assessors could be in a very high pressure situation and they're asking for something. Even under this situation, the consulting executive has to remain calm, think through clearly, and then take actions than just responding. There is a lot of difference between responding and reacting. So, here, be calm under pressure and respond in a very polite manner to the senior who could be asking for any particular information, data, or a resource. Now, when it comes to the client also, when you're interacting with the client, you are the face of the organization that you represent. So your interactions has to be a pleasant experience for the client as well. The words, the choice of words, the manner in which you convey what you want to convey, all these matters a lot. One is written, that is through your email, and the other is verbal. It can be face to face, or it can be through MS Team, or it can be through Zoom, or it can be also through telephone. So in all these cases, your interpersonal skills, and which I'm also involving communication in this, so interpersonal skills matters a lot for me. What is the third quality? That is customer orientation. How better can I make it for the customer so that the customer experiences our organization in a pleasant, positive manner? How can I make processes better, reports better, the way of writing the reports better, the way of presenting it better, so that there is value addition to the customer in terms of the data that I'm giving. So this means customer orientation is very important. To summarize, number one, attention to detail. Number 2, interpersonal skills, which includes communication. And number 3, customer orientation.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Sashank, who is the colleague of the role holder. So what are your expectations from a role of a consulting executive? And when does he typically reach out to you or interact with you? And also, in your opinion, what are the most important qualities that a consulting executive should have?
To my peer, the role of executive consultant. So what are my expectations from this role? So to each and every consulting project TVRLS handles, there is an executive consultant who is assigned as a program coordinator for that project. So this program coordinator is a single point of contact, also the coordinator from the onboarding of the client to the closing of the account. So coordinating internally and externally. So internally, it is a responsibility to ensure that we all are aligned with the client requirements, client expectations, the brief of the organization, so the schedule, the project dates, what are we working on. So to ensure that all of us are aligned regarding the project in communication, regarding the best communication from his side. And also each and every consulting project, there is a project leader. If the project leader assigns any task, the project coordinator's responsibility to ensure that we or the team is submitting the work, the project regarding the consulting work within the certain deadline with the highest quality, to follow up if there is any clarifications, if there is any doubts we have, to ensure in prior also send us the data or the documents that we are required to read and be ready. It could be assessment tools too. And also talking about what are the areas we work together, it could be we sit and brainstorm together on coming up with assessment tools. We do research in terms of collecting data from the client, collection of data, it could be diagnosis study and etc. So we sit together and discuss with the team, brainstorm what could be the best outcomes of this the data collection, what can be done, consulting the senior together, taking feedback from the senior about our work. And yes, and also we help each other in problem solving when it comes to our day-to-day tasks and activities, information sharing, experience sharing, ensuring that each of our peers is able to contribute the task in the highest quality. And also to ensure smooth execution in all the TVRLS activity. We also take joint responsibilities to ensure the smooth execution of the project. And also when it comes to projects of a big scale, we always need a helping hand or a support. And that here the peer plays a very important role where they support us and ensure that we are able to complete the task or close the task within the certain deadline in a very stress-free manner. And also we sit together and brainstorm on marketing methodologies. What is the best way we can do? What are the best it could be posters or taglines. And also on this each and every level, we consult our seniors. We also take guidance from them. And here, but in collaboration with our team members, the peers, we come up with certain outcomes. And also going ahead is let's say if there is any and also yes, importantly report making. Actually we sit together, we actually allocate ourselves how much we can do on what is the deadline, plan tasks together, how much my peer can support, how much I can support, how much support we can expect from our seniors regarding seeing each other's schedule. And also let's say if I have to schedule a date for my one of the project intervention, I would then my peer would be the coordinator from another project. I would like to check with them and ensure that the project leader of that, what timelines is this project happening, so that it doesn't contradict with the dates that I am giving for my project, to ensure there is a very smooth and continuous exchange of information. Yes, and also when if I am a project coordinator for any client consulting TVRLS intervention, I am at the client location. At that time, we would require the backend support from the TVRLS team that's sitting in the office. So they act as a backend support from as a command center to sharing of the documents, also checking the participants' data what they have shared is proper and is not modified. There's a lot of back-end support the consulting executive is responsible for. This plays a very much role in all of our smooth execution and with the highest quality. So what are the qualities that the consulting executive is very much necessary to have? The first one would be communication, where actually continuous sharing of information is very much important, collaboration with all the internal stakeholders, and also problem solving. That could be, we sit together, analyzing the data, really understanding the data, and also coming up with the best outcomes. And taking initiative to follow up on what is happening to ensure that we are all aligned with the data, aligned with the information. And yes, thank you.
Now, I would like to ask the client, what are your expectations from a role of a consulting executive?
So the main expectations from a consulting executive as a client, first and foremost would be certainly, seamless communication that we look forward to. So we've been associated with the company for the past 15 years, and throughout all the ADCs that were held, this communication played a very important role in terms of facilitating the ADCs as well as during the ADCs when they happened. If the communication is seamless, we get the actual picture and time to coordinate and keep things ready for the program to take place. So prime importance is given to communication, wherein from prior to the ADC taking place or any programs taking place, we get information about any participant during the workshop if any participant is absent, and timely communication so that we can replace the participant and gain out of it. So communication is of prime importance here. The second thing is seamless coordination, not only during the ADCs, DCs, but also prior to the ADCs, the planning, the coordinating aspect, ensuring that materials are in place, ensuring that participants are shared the invite links on time in case it's a virtual setup. If not, ensuring that during the ADC, the name tags, etc. are in place, proper stationery is in place. So interfacing, coordinating with our team, a consulting executive is expected to, smoothen the process or bridge the gap since he or she plays behind the scenes. So this is of utmost importance. The last and not the least is timely support. Timely support in terms of any communication that needs to be addressed to when we reach out to TVRLS, or when we reach out for any information, the consulting executive needs to get back in an appropriate time frame, and gather information, plan and help in the execution, support the clients in terms of what they may require. If it is bridging the gap between the senior managers and the clients, what are the quotation requirements? So all of this also plays a very important role. Thank you.
Now, I would like to ask the direct report of the consulting executive, that what are your expectations from the role of a consulting executive?
First thing would be clear guidance and constructive feedback. I expect my manager to set clear goals, provide regular feedback so I can align with my expectations and grow effectively. Second would be opportunities for learning and exposure. I look forward to being exposed to cross-functional projects and real decision-making scenarios to accelerate my learning curve and to grow more as a person. 3, mentorship and career development support. I value a manager who takes a mentorship approach, helping me understand the bigger picture, guiding me in shaping my long-term career path.